Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Thursday, January 10th, 2019. A pretty epic day so far. Lots of news coming in, lots of things going on, and I want to talk about that. It's important here. As all of you are well aware, I have explained to you in detail how we are now, or we were up until today, in a rally, in a sustained downtrend. We've been in a downtrend with this market for 3 months. The only thing, the one single thing that sparked this rally here with regard to this downtrend, which seems to be ending today, no surprise, honestly, was, I don't know how to put this in a way that's not going to upset certain people, but it was in our face 100% rigging of the market. When a sitting president sends his Treasury Secretary to 6 of the world's largest banks on Wall Street, and then all of a sudden comes back and issues a buy recommendation which sparks a rally, there's no other way to put this. That was an engineered fake rally in a downtrend. Well, it seems to have run its course right now, and it's important to keep this in perspective as well. So let's talk about that. Right now, this market is under pressure. I would not say an overwhelming amount of pressure, but it's down nonetheless. Dow Jones Industrial Average, last time I looked, was down about 150 points. Keep this in mind. We just heard from the Federal Reserve over the past week how they're going to continue the easy money. They're putting off rate hikes for as far as the eye can see. Maybe we're going to get a hike next year, maybe not. So there's a put under this market from the Federal Reserve. And even with that, stocks are falling. The other reason why stocks are falling right now, actually there's several, and I want to read this one to you, is this whole... It's a charade with regard to these China trade talks. I'm going to read to you a statement. I actually posted it all over my social networks from China yesterday with regard to these trade talks. And we're getting, on CNBC this morning, before I read the statement, let me just get this out of the way. The consensus is pretty straightforward, and it plays right into the statement that China made yesterday. Both sides have agreed to have more talks. That's it. That's all that's been really settled here. And, they're trying to float stories out right now that, good stuff is coming out of it. Nothing. Zero. So let me read this statement to you from the China propaganda ministry. That's really what it is. And here we go. This is, again, public statement from China. From January 7th to the 9th, China and the United States held discussions in Beijing at a vice ministerial level over the issue of trade. Both sides enthusiastically implemented the important agreement, so nothing so far, of the heads of both countries and held broad, deep, and meticulous discussions, just talk, on shared observations on trade issues and structural problems, laying the foundation for addressing areas of common concern. Here's the punchline. Both sides agreed to continue to keep in close contact. Zero. We got nothing out of all the months of how we've been talking about. We're making progress. We've made nothing. Zero. And that's being reflected in the market as well. You cannot make this stuff up, I swear to you. Let's talk about something else that you can't make up. How many of you recall every single Fed meeting prior till now, how Powell came out saying, our economy is doing very, very well and we are expanding. Well, guess what's been happening for the past 2 days, including this morning? The Federal Reserve is giving warnings with regard to our economy moving forward, saying specifically we are slowing down. How do we go from our economy is expanding at a good pace, this is their words, to now we are slowing down? Did they get it wrong as usual? I'm sorry I'm getting a little upset here, but it's unbelievable. You literally, we are in Twilight Zone. Let's talk more about Twilight Zone. How many of you remember the retail stores like Macy's, for example, over the holidays? Oh, sales are so strong. Everything is great. We've never had a season like this. Well, guess what? Retail stocks are getting destroyed right now across the board. Why? Because all the stuff that they told us was a lie. Sales fell off of a cliff, and more than that, they're giving poor forward guidance. Now, for those of you who believe this is the Amazon effect, well, maybe it has something to do with it. That does not offset the lies that is across the spectrum here. I mean, it's everywhere. Okay, Amazon effect. Well, airline stocks are falling off of a cliff as well. I don't think Amazon is affecting airline stocks. Do you? Look, the bottom line is pretty straightforward, and it's something that you are well aware of if you follow this blog. We are in a slowdown here in the United States, and I've been telling you this way before you had the imbecile Powell and the other idiots at the Federal Reserve saying it. The only person who won't admit it is the President of the United States, and he can't. He can't do it. And understand why he can't do it. I really don't blame the man. Why? We are in a war. People, we are in a trade war. Look at the word, war. Okay? So the propaganda has to be, both sides have to keep, issuing these propaganda to the public, because again, it keeps the enemy off balance. China is the enemy in the trade war. You understand? China is also playing a long game. And I think they're looking at this from a very different perspective. And I want to cover that too, real quick. I know this is getting kind of long-winded, but bear with me here. China is well aware of the issues in the United States with regard to the political spectrum. China is also well aware that the president has made every effort, and I mean every effort, including sending his Treasury Secretary out to Wall Street, the 6 biggest banks, issuing a buy recommendation, trying to push stocks back up, getting the Federal Reserve to play ball. The president, I have to say, in his credit, to really, and I want the man to be successful, but I also don't want him to lie, okay? To the president's credit, he has managed to get the Federal Reserve to absolutely capitulate to him, to promise to keep rates low, to keep printing cash out of thin air, to keep everything where it is right now, because he understands the stock market is on very shaky ground. Our economy is slowing. He will not admit this, but it's the truth. We're buying jobs. The low unemployment that we have, that's debts and deficits continuing to explode. We're buying the jobs. They're temporary positions. Okay. So what's going on here? China is understanding what's going on. Believe me, if I see this, I know that they do. So they're playing into this. They do not like to be dictated to. I think you all understand that. Now, their economy, the way it's set up over there, their people, they don't care. They're not like the American people who are a bunch of crybabies. They don't care if their people suffer over there. What China is doing right now is instituting some major stimulus packages to try to keep their economy at least propped up while they fight this war. Okay, that's another reason why the president wants the Federal Reserve to keep rates low. I don't blame the man. We are in a war. So if you're in a war, you have to get some extraordinary measures going here. And that may lead to a Fed rate cut. It's the truth. Okay, because we're hearing a lot of that too out of the Confederacy of Dunces. They're pushing that narrative. It may actually come true if a deal with China doesn't happen. Now, we know China is playing the long game here. They're going to weaponize our stock market against the president. They're going to weaponize his political situation here with the wall and everything else against the president. So they're going to drag this out for as long as they possibly can, because they do not want, China, believe me on this one, all right, does not want President Trump to win the next election. I believe they're going to make every effort to cause this to happen by having our economy suffer. Theirs is suffering too, but again, it's a completely different set of rules that they play by, and they're going to drag this out for as long as possible, as you can see from the statement that I just read to you. I mean, if you need any more clarity, just go Google it yourself and read it, or go to one of my social networks because I posted it there. So that's where we are right now, people. We're in a war. It's a trade war, no blood yet, but, you know, I mean, war is war. So all kinds of propaganda, all kinds of misleading information is going to come out. But let's look at everything else I just put together for you here. All the retail wreck, the airlines falling off of a cliff, the Federal Reserve acknowledging that we are slowing down after they kept saying repeatedly that we are growing at a moderate pace. That's their words. Now all of a sudden we're not. You can't make this stuff up. It's beyond belief. But look, I believe right now, unless something drastic happens, and it doesn't look like it's going to, the Trump bump, that engineered rally in the downtrend that we've been in for 3 months since the top of the market in October, is running its course. All rigging becomes real, and that was rigging here. There's no doubt about it. If you don't see that as rigging, put yourself in the other political party if you are that polarized, because that's the plan too, to keep people confused, to keep people full of anxiety, to keep people in a state of they don't know what's going on. But that is the truth here. But that was absolutely, without a doubt, rigging. And I have no doubt again in my mind, especially after seeing what's going on here. A Federal Reserve that has promised to keep rates suppressed, possibly reverse. Stocks are still under pressure. This might reverse throughout the day. With that said, we're going to hear from the Fed today, as a matter of fact. Let's see what spews out of their mouth today, what kind of vomit comes out of their mouth. Look, a lot of stuff I covered in this video. Ponder these things. Understand the environment we are in. Do not take anything at face value, all right? Nothing. Use analytical thought. Think about what's happening before you post some kind of nonsensical thing that makes you look stupid. Really think about what's going on, the environment we are in, and then put this together, and I think you'll come up with a vastly different conclusion than what seems to be, again, at face value. Nothing is what it seems. The market is completely fake. And again, when I say nothing is what it seems, I'm not just talking about the market. I'm talking about everything on the political landscape. So sit back, use your brain, engage it, and I believe you'll come up with some very good and interesting conclusions with regard to all the stuff that's going on here. Anyway, I'm going to cover what happens later with the Fed in my post-market wrap-up. If you think this has been important, please share this video, get it out there. I would always like to see a thumbs up as well. See you later.